Hi everyone, it's Becky from Harp Strings and Wings, and welcome back to my channel. I am just getting over a head cold that I've had this week, so I have some water and everything, but I'll try not to cough or, you know, get through this as best as I can. Today I'm going to talk about managing, like spiritually managing those of you that suffer from chronic pain or chronic illness. I'm sure we have our, physical ways of managing, which is, supplements, our diet, seeing our doctors, art therapy, music therapy, counseling, psychology. We have all of our kind of like 3D ways of managing chronic pain and chronic illness. But perhaps I can share, if you probably have your own way of spiritually managing your chronic pain too, but perhaps I can share some additional insight today. I have had about a migraine for like 2 days, and right now it's kind of like a level 4. It's actually dissipating as I speak, which is really nice, but it was like a level 7 or 8 today. And I had taken my meds, and I was laying down in the afternoon in my daughter's room because it's nice and dark. She's got like the light blocking curtains, and I had the sound machine on, and I just wanted to get some rest. And how the funny thing is actually a pocket of information just kept streaming into me, because when you're in pain, you're just thinking, why am I in this pain? What can I do? Is there anything I haven't tried yet? Is there something I did? You really start to you're like left alone with your mind, and you have those like ruminating thoughts, like I have this condition, I have this illness, I have this pain. So it feels like when you have that pain, it's like a constant like punch in the face, like I have this. And spiritually, you've probably been reading all the ways that you can self-talk, and even praying to your, like, the higher being of your choice. If you're agnostic or atheist or anything, just believing in your body's ability to heal, talking to your cells, and you're just like, but why? Why am I getting the same message every single day, the same thing? This is chronic. How do you spiritually manage that? It tests your very faith and ability to understand why you're here in this life in a body that's just racked with pain all of the time. So while I was thinking about all of this and kind of asking my higher self, my guides, like, just for some insight, I started getting some, and I thought I'd share this with you. The first thing I thought of is remembering a time that you felt really good. And I know this might seem hard for a lot of us, especially if we've been suffering this way for years. My memory was definitely taken back like at least 10 years ago of when I felt really good and I was running on the beach, and I had been very active and was working out, and I wouldn't say it drastically changed my diet, but I cleaned it up a bit. I felt really good, and there was a picture taken of me, and I just remember thinking, you feel so great right now, remember this. And so that image came into my mind, something that I haven't felt in a long time. And then some other memories started trickling in about when I felt really good at this other time, or that sort of thing. So they'll come to you if you just kind of just focus on that. And once I moved from that focus of when I felt good and the vibration of that, it helps kind of lift you out of that, the despair and the pain that you might be in. And then I went straight into like feeling gratitude. So realizing that I still have all my limbs. I have worked in military hospitals and VA centers. I'm a harpist, and I have worked with many of these groups of people, and every time I would go, I just felt such an appreciation for being able to walk. And some days I don't necessarily walk completely without pain, but I'm able to walk. So, just finding those things. If you're unable to walk, perhaps you can still use your hands. Things that you can find that you are thankful for, that you have the ability to use without any difficulty. So focusing on that, it just helps like lift your vibration and feeling better about your situation and everything. And then the question just comes in like, why me? Why do I have this body that feels like it's obviously not working correctly? There could be so many reasons. It's really going to depend on the individual, their history, their soul lessons, their backgrounds, all that information. But for me, when I was tuning in, I was feeling like a lot of this pain is caused from early childhood trauma. And not just, epigenetics and genes and also generational history. So I feel like, okay, on some level, I have agreed to come into this body with these issues. And yes, I've made free will and I've made choices along the way that could either help or hinder my condition. But for the most part, I feel like I have made a lot of choices to help myself, big time. Counseling, therapy, hospitalizations, many doctor's appointments, as you saw, supplements, and even prescriptive meds on the milder side, natural things like essential oils and music therapy and meditation, and I mean I could just go on. And I'm sure that you've tried all these as well. and you probably do feel some relief from this and that and whatever. But it's still, like, at the end of the day, it's like you still have this. So, knowing that inner decision of knowing that you chose this body can be such a hard first step for so many people. Some days I'm just like, okay, yeah, I didn't sign up for this. Just kidding. Send a new one, please. So it's like, yeah, why? Why would I ever sign up for something like this? But on a spiritual level, if you're thinking about soul growth, it was just known to me like you're an expert at healing, and you chose to come and be in a body to evolve it with all of its issues, because almost in essence like that work needs to be done, and when you evolve and better yourself, you heal those issues inside of you. There's certain things, like for me, the birth of my daughter, I felt like actually catapulted me into feeling worse afterwards, like worse fibromyalgia, worse Sjogren's, and some psychological things like PPOCD, postpartum OCD. So I'm like, okay, but okay, I'm evolving myself, but then like all these things got worse. So it's like I got handed a whole nother level of healing, if you will. And that's okay. I realize it's part of my work. It's part of what I'm here to help people with and how I can relate to so many people. It's hard to find spiritual teachers and people that are in chronic pain talking about this on a level of kind of like spiritual evolution, or just from like a deeper level, if you need to find that deeper meaning for your pain. So it's really hard for me to connect with a lot of like, spiritual people that I listen to and everything on YouTube. Have they felt pain like this before? Have they ever gone through this before? It's like it's sometimes you feel like it's easy for them to say that because they haven't gone through this, that, and whatever. And I'm here to say that I've been through it, and hopefully I can help. And there might be some argument towards, well, if you were a spiritual healer or that, you wouldn't be suffering from this. So here's my answer to that. That is evolving as well. So I think about a month ago, I started just feeling like I was done, sort of like not calling on assistance from guides and angels and whatever you might believe in, for healing help. That is always there for me, always there for me. But the crutch of always leaning on that, it felt like it was time to not necessarily lean on that so much, and instead I don't want to say invoke, what's the word I'm looking for? Wake up my heart center into connecting with the highest version of myself. And all I know is that I would do that from the heart, and I would become one. So I become one with this highest version of myself. And as I was doing that, I felt complete release of pain. And it works better when I use music with it, so kind of like a meditative state. And it takes a lot of practice too, because I haven't been able to get there every time, but when I do feel whole, that wholeness, that original state of perfection and of just God being, the wholeness, no disease, no sickness, just being present, being filled with that fullness that I know that I am deep down. So I've got this 3D vessel, this vehicle, and I've got this higher version self of mine, of disease-free, whole, and I'm merging the two. And I was able to hold on to that for about, 15, 20 minutes, which was pretty good, and experience no pain, which is awesome. But again, like I said, I wasn't able to get it every time, and obviously it's going to be more difficult if you've got like a level 8 pain going on and you're trying to do this. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it could be a little bit more challenging. And so I feel that the more I do that, I do more of this bringing my wholeness into myself and just kind of busting out all of the chronic everything, all the complaints, everything like that, the more I feel that is in grasp, that is in reach for me. Because you read about those things in books and self-healing and things like that, and like talk to yourselves, renew yourself, do all these things, these exercises and techniques of like, you are whole, you're completely healed, things like that. But I feel like it's so much harder for a person that suffers from chronic pain and illness, because it feels like pain is all we know. And it changes our personalities, it changes our behaviors, it changes our goals in life. We could go into all the blessings that chronic pain actually does bring into your life. You've simplified your life, I bet. You have only those that are truly supportive around you. At least I hope you do. I don't know, like if you're a parent like me, like I get in a lot of snuggle time with my daughter, and she's also being very attentive to me, bringing like a cloth to my head, and she's learning empathy, and she's just more aware, and she's only 3. You appreciate the small things, the little things, like a pain-free hour, if you get that. A day is like, oh, glorious. And then you probably end up like trying to catch up on all the things that you've been trying to catch up on, and then the next day you're recovering from all of that. But anyway, you know how it goes. So to spiritually take some time So the mornings and the evenings obviously are the best when you are just waking up or going to bed to do this work, to attach to that wholeness, to just be it, to just be it, to remember it within yourself and your body. And it again, don't give up on the first couple tries. Keep trying and keep, exploring and experimenting with it. And, don't be afraid to ask for assistance with whatever higher guides or beings or power that you believe in. And, oh, yeah, another thing I wanted to say before I forget is there comes a point where, in that beginning part, where we are, sorry, I'm just noticing a ton of floaters in this, and I think my daughter got a hold of this, and now I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to drink out of that now. I think my husband did warn me, though, and I forgot. So anyway, what was I saying? So there's this feeling of like surrender when you have all that pain. It's like you just don't know what to do with it. You're like, here God, here higher self, here universe, or whatever, here's all this pain. I've tried to take all these supplements. I've taken these meds. I'm still not feeling pain relief. I'm connecting with my guides. I'm praying for relief and comfort. Please help. Like, there is nothing more that I know what to do about this. It's beyond my help. I've seen the doctors. I've tried this. I've tried that. So there's this sort of like surrender that happens. And this is the hardest part. Acceptance of just being in pain. That's a hard one. That's a really hard one for me. But I'm telling you, without that, I wouldn't have gotten all this other information flowing in afterwards. So I should have began with that. Basically, that was like the first step. Was just like, well, there's nothing I can do except for sit here, listen to my brain, worrying and ruminating and all of this about pain or whatever. There's nothing I can do except for say, hey body, I hear you. You tell me this message every day. Yes, you always give me the headache in the same spots. Yes, I feel joint pain. Yes, I feel a dry mouth. I feel, whatever your symptoms are. You're like, I'm getting the message, body. Thank you. And the body says, instead of thinking chronic pain, you're just feeling the healing. So let that sink in for a little bit. You are just feeling healing. Constantly feeling healing. The body is constantly healing itself, and we're feeling it all of the time. It's a better way to look at it than thinking chronic pain. It's a better way to kind of see it and feeling all the healing. And my body is doing its job by sending me those messages. So it's very important that we don't send hate or dislike to the body. It's just doing its job. And so that acceptance of just being in pain is that. It's the acceptance of, okay, body, I hear you. You're doing your job. And then perhaps you can move into that gratitude space, and then the other exercises I was sharing with you. It's just so important to realize our deeper meaning for being in this body is because we are experts at healing and evolving and fixing these issues that are within these vessels of ours. It's like God, the universe, whatever, sent the finest beings that are great at dealing with darkness and with healing, and put us in these bodies for these specific reasons so that we can evolve and, you know, transmute these issues that we're going through. And as much as that sounds great to hear, I was still thinking, well, that's great, but I don't really like it. And I'm kind of tired of it. Right? It's like, okay, if that's supposed to make me feel better, okay, that does for a short while, or maybe some days I remember it and think about it, but it still doesn't beat that it's extremely hard to get through, and it's something that I have to face as soon as I wake up from sleep. I feel pain, you know, so it's like, it's just really hard to keep that in focus spiritually when you're physically feeling like it's always nagging at you. And so it's like when you can try to find a quiet moment to connect to the higher purposes of what you're going through. I wish we could all in our lives have more time to do that, because it does help. But the way we run our modern lifestyle it's very hard to turn the phones off and to quiet ourselves down and to, you know, create and make the time to spiritually connect. And it's like almost as if our bodies will be in so much pain that we have no choice. So it's like, I can't look at my phone anymore because it hurts. I can't engage with my family or, you know, do these other projects and things and housework and whatever, because right now my body is saying I've got to connect, and I've got to connect to that wholeness, because it's almost as if it's starving for it, that connection. So if you can make that connection and try to do it like on a daily basis, awesome, because I'm trying. I mean, I don't always remember to do it every day either, but I'll tell you this though, my body soon reminds me when I haven't. It's like I have to get right back into that and make sure I do it, otherwise I suffer, you know. It's like filling myself up, filling up your cup, as they say. So anyway, I hope this helps. I hope it doesn't sound too bleak or anything. Just know that it's coming from someone who understands your pain, and how real it is, and how how challenging it is to adopt these spiritual principles and into our lives, and to make them actually work and sort of like come true, and have faith with them when we're faced with chronic pain and illness. So if you like this video, please let me know. Comment down below, and I can do some more specific videos like this talking about chronic pain and illness. Again, I will share any other information that comes through for me that was, you know, might be beneficial to you, because that's why I'm here. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.